everybody, it's Gail, and today I wanted to walk you through the early parts of working on the Queen of Hearts cosplay that I have planned. So if you saw my yarn haul video from a while back, I got the black, yellow, and orange to start making the front skirt of that costume. And I decided the best way to get it planned out was to put it into stitch fiddle and do my best to make it look, you know, as close to screen accurate as possible because I am a total perfectionist with this kind of shit. So I did that, and it was based on my gauge and how long I need it to be and how wide I need it to be. And I only need it to be wide enough to cover sort of hip to hip, as Mank here is exploring, but also to go over this bum roll here, which is used to get the exaggerated hip measurement that the Queen of Hearts has. This would be historically what she probably would have worn, along with some hoops, which are on their way. I ran all the numbers, and it was 185 stitches across, which is not a huge amount of stitches. If you've made a few blankets in your day, that's a pretty reasonable amount of stitches. But it was 320 rows, and that's a lot of rows, especially in fingering weight yarn on I think I was originally doing this on a 2mm hook because I am that bitch. And I experimented with a couple of ways to work on it and decided, well, the perfectionist in me decided that the answer was to work mosaic crochet in order to get the absolute perfect color work. And I mean, I have this, which is the start of the front skirt. And I mean, we're looking pretty good. And my plan was, once it was done, I was going to do some surface crochet to just absolutely smooth out some of the slight iffiness on the color change. And if you've never worked mosaic crochet is worked in overlapping rows. And it is usually worked in 2 colors. Clearly I'm working in 3. And so for every single completed row that you see here, I had to work 3 rows. Because I had to do the row where the black was overlapping, and then I had to do the row where the orange was overlapping, and then I had to do the row where the yellow was overlapping. And this result is gorgeous. Every row took 45 minutes. And if you take 320 and then multiply it by 3, because every row is actually 3 rows, and then you take, what is that, 960? Take 960, multiply that by 0.75, because every row takes 3/4 of an hour. It comes out to about 18 weeks of 40-hour weeks. I don't remember the exact number. I blanked it from my memory because I just was like, oh shit. But you're looking at the equivalent of working 18 weeks full time just to do the front skirt. And I will go hard for my costumes, I always have, but there is a limit. And 18 weeks for one piece, 18 full-time hour weeks for one piece of a costume, that's a little much even for me. I don't generally track how long my costumes take me, because if I did that, I think I would make less of them. But especially in this case with such a large costume that has so many pieces to it. So I looked at the numbers and went, I can't fucking do that. I will burn out so hard. It will never get done, and I really, really want to wear this costume. I'm so excited to do this. So I cut everything off, tossed it aside, and I thought, you know what? What I could try, what if I did 2 rectangles? Take the chart, cut it right down the middle, do the black and orange side on its own, and then do the yellow and black side on its own, and then I can seam them together using clear sewing thread, so that you're not going to get any sort of overlap in the wrong color. And I was like, okay, it's still, having to make it in 2 pieces, it's still going to take some time, but it's not 3 rows per row that could really cut down. And so I started doing that. And I mean, look at this. It's pretty good, right? Like, I mean, and the color changes were coming along really beautifully. I was going to do the same surface crochet thing at the end, just for the perfectionism in me. And I thought, yeah, this is really working. And I did 20 rows and I stopped and I measured. And now we have a problem that the 320 row pattern that I set up is now too big because I'm getting more than 6 inches. 6 inches. 6 rows per inch. Oh, so many numbers. So much math. And I thought, well, what I can do is rechart it. And maybe I don't have to restart completely. Maybe I can rechart it so that this is still usable. No. That did not work out. But in recharting, a couple of things happened. Number one, the stripes are closer to screen accurate than they were, which is very exciting for me. And number two, I was able to cut half of the rows out of this. So I went from 320 to 160. Is that half? Yeah, that's half. And then I added 5 rows at the very, very end because it does have to attach in some way. And so what I'm going to do is just, once I have the bum roll on and everything, it will just sort of slide under and then there will be snaps and it will fit together. And once I reach that point, I will actually have it up on Make to show to you, hopefully with the hoops attached. They are back ordered to hell. I think a lot of people are working on cosplays because why not? Or probably planning weddings. Lots of reasons to buy hoops, even in the modern day. So that is the state of this cosplay. In the few weeks that I've been working on it, I have managed to restart it. Well, twice, obviously, but there were a couple of false starts that I didn't keep the examples of that also did not work. So I think this is try number 5, which is not bad for a new costume, especially in freehanding something that's pretty different from what I usually do. So I'm really looking forward to, you know, keeping you updated on where the costume is and what's going on, because there's, I mean, the front skirt alone clearly has already been a wild ride. The rest of the skirt, I am probably going to ask a friend to help me do some drafting and cutting, so that I can have like a muslin build of the shapes that I need to make the rest of the skirt. The bodice will probably actually be pretty easy, just because I've made a lot of fitted stuff. I will have to wait until after the smollering. And then if I start talking about the plans for the hair and the crown and the Cheshire Cat who has to be there, and then I want to make a little king that will attach to the skirt. That'll just be an hour-long video of me talking with no visuals, which you're all very smart. You can figure it out, but not as much fun without a few examples. So that is the first update on this costume. I look forward to providing more in the future, and we'll see how it goes. All right, you guys have a great one. I will talk to you later.